Hey guys, and welcome back. My name is Christopher Maldong, and I am the author of the fantasy adventure novel The Mustard Prince in the Condiment Kingdom. Last time I did a review about Rave Master volumes 1 through 5, and today I'm going to talk about Rave and do a review about Rave Master volumes 6 through 10. You can also check out my author's website at www.chrismaldon.com, where you can check out blogs which are updated weekly, free short stories, and check out other stories for sale. If you want to get The Mustard Prince in the Condiment Kingdom on PDF, it's $4.99. My other short stories and short story collections at $1.99. And if you have a Kindle, you can check out those same stories, The Mustard Prince and the Condiment Kingdom, for $4.99, or my other short stories for $1.99 at Amazon.com. The Mustard Prince and the Condiment Kingdom is actually a lot like Rave Master in a sense. It has a lot of the weird characters, from giant talking centipedes to um, these bush monsters to whatnot. The party, the main, the main character, the muscle, the female character that's really like quick-witted, and then you have a ghost character as well in the Mustard Prince and Condiment Kingdom. Rave Master kind of starts out that way with like Haru, Ellie, Musica, Plu, but it definitely grows into a much bigger cast. Um, so yeah, man. Check out the Mustard Prince and Condiment Kingdom if you can, and yeah, let's get right to this. Let's start with Volume 6. At the end of Volume 5, Sieghart is trying to kill Ellie. Oh yeah, and just to tell you, I am gonna recap Volume 6 through 10. They will have spoilers, so spoiler alert here, pretty much. And then after that, I'll give my immediate thoughts on the characters, the story, and where I think everything's going. So, Volume 6, Sieghart tries to kill Ellie, whose tattoo on her arm are numbers 3173, or you can read it as Ellie. He reveals that she was an experiment, and he uses the poison element and lightning against her to try and kill her. Um, it seems that Etherion, which is some sort of like magical power that Ellie seems to have, uh, was possibly triggered. Sieghart also reveals that Russia Valentine, who looks a lot like Ellie, used Etherion to create Rave. During this time, Ellie remembers that she had parents. She wasn't just some test tube subject. Um, After just getting just beaten, Haru does try to save Ellie, and he whispers something to her, and then he fights Sieghart. Sieg, though, is so powerful. I mean, he just blocks and dodges all of Haru's attacks. The explosion, the Sulfurian mixed in with the explosion, and it doesn't do anything. It's during this time, though, that um, Haru uses the Sealing Sword Rune Save. So it's a new form of the 10 powers, and he uses it to protect Ellie as it seals non-physical attacks. So like the lightning and whatnot, it seals those attacks from like Sieghart. During this time and during this whole like confusion and tussle and whatnot, Reina from the Eurasian 6 stabs Sieghart. Doesn't kill him, it just seems to weaken him. Well, Ellie's on the ground, and seemingly you would think she's dead actually from the poison element. Haru uses Rune Save to remove the poison element. Apparently, it can't cut through like human flesh, or it can't like it's not a sword used to like cut anything except for like elemental and non-physical stuff. Um, After all of this happens, like Sieg just pretty much stops fighting them, and he reveals that the Rave of Combat is in Luca continent. Um, During this time, and he leaves, and then like Reina leaves, and then Reina and Jagan, they go to this city called uh, Technot- Technotica. There we go. My bad. It's a fortified city, and they see this demon lord Burial just kind of sitting there, like, and Technotica is pretty much is just destroyed, and it's introduced that Burial is one of the Eurasian Six. After that, the next chapter, final chapter of the volume, shows Plu's commando diary, where it shows him. He finds himself in this island, and I guess Griff and some like two other weird creatures are on the island, and they're fighting against this pudding army. And Plu pretty much saves the day. And I guess that's how Plu and met Griff, and why Griff always calls him like Master Plu. So on to volume 7 here. They're stuck in this place called Blue City, and Musica meets up with his ex-girlfriend Melodia. But he doesn't stay with her. He just ends up traveling with Haru. One of my favorite characters and groups in this series, the Jigglebutt Gang, is introduced in a train caper. It's just really fun. They're on the train heading to, geez, I remember they're heading to like Rabberry or something like that. And you pretty much see these three guys with these really big butts wearing these like, I guess like these like spandexy like black suits trying to rob the train unsuccessfully. The main one actually, the leader of the gang actually like befriends Haru, and they like beat up Musica and Ellie, and they don't actually get what they want. After that, Haru and company end up in the underground town Rabbarrier that is being attacked by demonoids. We are introduced to Remy Maltese, Solicito, and Fua. Remy Maltese is the descendant of Clea Maltese, one of the Knights of the Blue Sky, and Remy is keeping up a barrier to keep the demonoids away. However, there's like cracks in this barrier, so demonoids do manage to come through and attack the town. Haru is told that Gale is the leader of the demonoids, and we are introduced to Gale Glory. He doesn't say much, they just show him looking cool, pretty much. Remy says that she has a Rave of Combat, but will not relinquish it to Haru unless he helps them. Haru then refuses. Haru then goes off alone to fight the demonoids at the base of the Tower of Din and to find his father. During this time, Shuda is actually shown. It was, shown that he fell off his his ship and died, but he's actually shown alive with a metal arm. After Haru does a bunch of fighting at the base of the Tower of Din against the demonoids, against like hundreds of demonoids, he meets his father, Gale Glory. During this time, the rest of the group, like Musica, Ellie, and all of them, Remy, Solicito, and Fua, they realize he's gone and left alone, so they run to join up with him. It's also revealed that King is the leader of the demonoids, and his name is also Gale, but it's Gale Raregroove. He comes out and he reveals to them that they are fighting on the day time intersects. He's also waiting for the N claim where the new Darkbring are made, and it's always on the day that time intersects. He also reveals that on this day, Rave was created, Russia Valentine died, the Overdrive happened, the war ended, the two Gales were born, and on this day, like during different years, this all happened, by the way. And they met and made Demon Card on, like, the day that time intersects. At the end of the volume, the 5 Palace Guardians are introduced. So, on to volume 8. Haru and his father get separated, and Haru faces the 5 Palace Guards. One of them, he's introduced, and he's more honorable than the others, and wants, like, fair fights. He doesn't use Darkbring. Gale Glory, Haru's dad, is actually revealed to be Gale Symphonia Glory to 6. So there's like 2 empires, the Symphonia Empire and the Rare Groove Empire, which I'll get to later. King also reveals, I believe as he's fighting Gale, that this end claim will make the Darkbring end of Earth, which will cause another overdrive. As Haru is fighting the 5 Palace Guardians, the group, like Musica, Ellie, Remy, Solicito, and Fua, Plu, Griff, or the other 2, I think, they rejoin Haru to fight the 5 Palace Guardians. So they get separated, Haru and the group, but Musica's with Solicito in this one area, and he pretty much deduced from Solicito that Remy is not a Rave Guardian, and that they don't have the Rave of Combat. Then Solicito reveals that Rab Barrier is just a cover for where the real Rave of Combat is, and Clea Maltese, the original Knight of the Blue Sky, is putting the barrier to Rab Barrier at a remote location. He also reveals that Remy is her little sister, or his little sister. So after that happens, they show that in another scene that Haru fights Let, and he ends up winning. And the others, Ellie, Griff, Plu, and all of them just fight all the other Palace Guardians. And they pretty much all defeat the 5 Palace Guardians. They're pretty much a goon squad, in a sense. Like, they're not, except for Let, who actually, like, a new 10 power form is shown, called the Blue Crimson, which is a dual, which is like 2 swords at once. Haru uses that on Let, and Let, loses the fight. Well, everyone else defeats all the other Palace Guardians. It's also revealed back in Volume 6, Haru whispers something to Ellie. What it was is that he told her that they will find Ellie's past together. So after they beat the Palace Guardians, Haru goes to help his dad, while everyone else is kind of they're actually going back to Rab Area because they're like, Musica is injured and they're all injured. So as they're going back, Clea Maltese reveals herself. She is surprised to see Ellie, who looks like Russia Valentine, and gives her the Rave of Combat for her to give to Haru. Clea then passes away. Haru and his father fight King, but King has the Decalogue, which is a sword that can use the different forms of the 10 powers that Haru has. King then, at the end of the volume, King reveals that the end of the Earth, or end of Earth Darkbring, is inside Gale Glory's body. So in Volume 9, it starts with the backstory of the 2 Gales. In the past, Gale Glory leaves Garage Island when he realizes the world is in chaos due to Demon Card just being evil and, causing problems for the world. It's also shown that Gale Glory confronts Gale Raregroove, who has a wife and child. The child's name is Lucia Raregroove. When Gale Glory can't convince King, pretty much. I guess I can call him Gale Raregroove at this time. He's not really King. To stop what he's doing, Glory calls the Empire to stop him. the Empire completely destroys Demon Card and kills Regu's wife and child. Uh, Apparently Sakura, Gale Glory's wife, and like Catalia and Haru's mother, has been following Gale around, but Gale Regu, after all this happens with the destruction of the Demon Card and whatnot, Gale Regu kills Sakura and puts End of Earth inside of Gale Glory, which explains why Gale Glory never returned to Garage Island, because he's been wandering the desert because he doesn't want to trigger the End of Earth Darkbrain. So they go back to fighting. Haru's fighting King, and King uses Melforce, which is one of the forms of the 10 powers, which is like this wind attack. Ellie ends up delivering the Rave of Combat to Haru, who gives it to Plu, and it gives Plu a power boost. He defends a technique from King, and Haru is then able to hurt King after that, quite badly too. Then King comes around and uses a special Dark Bring. So there's not just Dark Bring, there are special Dark Bring apparently, called Monster Prism, and it just turns him into this like mindless, powerful monster. He loses all humanity and becomes like this monstrous type of being, pretty much. Nonetheless, Haru and his father do defeat King, but his father, Gale Glory, cannot kill King because he still considers King to be his best friend. Using the Darkbring Warp Road, King delivers End of Earth to Demon Card headquarters and destroys it. King then kills himself but reconciles with Gale before he dies. Tower of Din collapses, and they try and escape. It's Ellie, Haru, and his dad, and Gale actually knows Ellie. Doesn't explain the backstory. He just kind of like hints that it's not a good thing. Or something bad's gonna happen with Ellie. Let kind of comes around and helps them escape. During this time, Gale and Haru get trapped, and Let and Ellie escape. And then Gale tells Haru about Star Memory. And as all this rubble is falling and whatnot, Gale protects Haru from all this falling rubble, and he ends up dying. Haru then, after that, Haru makes it back to Rab area and the mainland Rab area, and begins a new journey after mourning his father's death. Haru looks inside of himself, sees his dad, and his father reveals that there are a lot of paths that he can take, and Haru says that he's going to take all of them. In Volume 10, Shiva talks about his past and leaving Garage Island. He meets Arrestor Valentine, pretty much falls in love with her. He fights against the four Knights of the Blue Sky, primarily Alpine, and loses. No, he loses to Clay Maltese, right? Yeah, Clay Maltese, my bad. It's Clay Maltese and loses. And then, he sees Russia again, with Plu, actually. It's on this, just kind of there. And then they say they'll meet again tomorrow. But instead, the four Knights of the Blue Sky come around tomorrow. Gives Sheba, a younger Sheba, the Rave, and tells him that Russia died. He also meets Galen Musica, who was the old blacksmith in Volume 2 or 3, right? So he meets him, and he makes him a sword, or says he does. So it starts off with Shiva's backstory, but then in the main story, it's 6 months after King was defeated. Haru decides to find Star Star Memory, they get a new ship called Silver Knights with like Muzka and his crew. Let, one of the palace guards, he's from the Dragon Race, and he joins up with them. Um, there's a scene where Sieghart finds out that the place where the Ethereum spirit experiment was happening, it ended a while. It ended doing experiments well before he destroyed the place, but he still saw Ellie there. So it's kind of a mystery of like, what was she doing there? What was happening? Sieghart decides to head to Symphonia, and remember that Symphonia is where the overdrive happened. Um, it's like a kingdom where, yeah, back in the days where some overdrive happened. So they're traveling on the Silver Knights ship, and Let tells them that the Death Storm blocks their way to Symphonia, but there's like this gate that can get them in, but the toll is like a million something, or just like a million, whatever their currency is, and it's owned by someone. Uh, During this time, it's revealed that they're pretty much just broke and out of money. So they manage to enter this flying casino, and then they get this idea to find a sponsor for their adventure. The owner of the flying casino is a rich penguin-like centianoid named Ruby. But Let, during this time, notices that members of the Doryu Ghost Attack Squad, Frank and Billy, Lilith, Nina, and Wolf, are on board the flying casino. Apparently, they are looking to get money from Ruby by giving him a rare item or thing. Ruby, though, does not want anything stolen or extinct, and has a bell to detect if an item was received in a really shady way. Turns out that Ruby saw Plu, and he wants Plu, and the Doryu Ghost Attack Squad tries to get him. Then Sam Led explains that with Demon Card gone, smaller underworld organizations sprang up and are trying to become the leaders of the underworld. So, the Doryu Ghost Attack Squad knock out Haru and Ellie, and they get Plu, but the Jigglebutt gang comes in and tries to rob the casino. So as this confusion is happening, Griff is trying to explain to Ruby that, like, he can't take Plu, and that Let and Muzka are fighting Frankenbilly, but Frankenbilly has this ability to make his hands and feet really huge. So they fight. And I think if I remember, the two end up fighting Lilith and Wolf briefly, and then Frankenbilly goes to Ruby, tries to force Ruby to give them money. He reveals to Ruby that their leader, his name is Pumpkin Doryu, killed Ruby's father. Ruby this whole time thought that Pumpkin Doryu was his friend. Haru wakes up, punches Frankenbilly. Then Frankenbilly explains to Haru that with Sinclair still around, there's still Darkbring being made, despite the fact that Haru and his father destroyed the Tower of Din and stopped the Enclave. Because like Frankenbilly and all of them have Darkbring still. So they're fighting, and during all this tussle and bustle and whatnot, the Jigglebutt gang uses Gas Butt Triple Ecstasy, which is it's all three of them building up this like energy for this humongous fart, pretty much, from all three of them at once. And it just spreads throughout the whole casino, and everyone just passes out. Hebby comes in with a gas mask, who's one of Musica's men, and he kind of just rescues everyone. Ruby ends up joining Haru and the gang and tells him that he owns the gate to Symphonia. So they show a scene back in Imperial headquarters, and is explained by the generals that the three underworld organizations that are like particularly growing in power are the Doryu Ghost Attack Squad, another group called Onigami, and another group called the Blue Guardians. So there's four generals talking right now, and the northern general, his name's Deep Snow, suggests to release someone known as the Devil of Basement 66 from Desert Prison Mega Unit. Um, he is supposed to be kept secret and then has been imprisoned there for 10 years. So they show another scene with Seacart going to Mega Unit, finds out it's totally destroyed. There's a surviving soldier that says that the blonde-haired devil of Basement 66 escaped and is headed to Symphonia. So Haru and the gang fly into Symphonia, and the Silver Knights. The Doryu Ghost Attack Squad attacks the Silver Knights, ends up destroying the gate to Symphonia. And at the end of the volume, Haru decides to go through the Death Storm. That was a pretty long recap. I'm trying to be a bit more detailed about it, but like some thoughts. I really like the King story arc. It's a really strong arc. It was a lot of fun and really dramatic. The backstory was just flat out tragic. I mean, Gale, Gloria, and Gale Road Group, they were friends. They made Demon Card to fight off demons, and then they become enemies. I guess Rare Groove, who turns out to be king, later becomes king, is taking like assassination jobs and whatnot, to make money, and Gale Glory just couldn't take it. Um, the ending where Gale couldn't kill King because he still considers him a friend, and then they reconcile as friends. I mean, it's just really touching stuff. It's such a great payoff, dude, to the whole story arc. Um, I'm always fond of villains who, like they do evil, like think like Magneto from X-Men, but have some sort of like real motivation to be evil outside of just being like an evil person. Like the Doryu Ghost Attack Squad right now, they're just evil. They're just there. They look evil. They do evil things. It turns out King actually had some reasoning for what he did, misguided as it may be, and but at the very end, he turns it all around, destroys Demon Card. So it was just there's such a great payoff to this whole story arc, and it's just really fun to see. Everyone kind of there's some there's some real feeling of like resolution here, which I really liked. It was really unfortunate that Haru's father died. He actually promised that he'd return to Garage Island. I liked his character. I thought that Gale and Haru had like a really fun father-son dynamic. At times, he saw Ellie, and it's just like, oh, that's your girlfriend, or like, this is my son. It's like they just had this like really good dynamic when they were just acting like father and son. Like, also like Shiba's backstory. It really it established Russia Valentine, gave us some insight into his character. Um, he had nothing to fight for, and then it turns out that like by the end of it all, same thing, by the whole resolution of the storyline, which was only two of the chapters, like he had something to fight for. There's some real resolution that happened here. I also like the Russia Valentine as a character. She's really cute, really funny. She acts a lot like Ellie, you know, but they made her just like a really fun, bright character. Speaking of characters I really like, I love the Jiggle Butt Gang. These guys are just hilarious. I mean, it's just, and they're supposedly these, they try to act like bad guys, but they end up just doing good. And also, they consider Haru to as like their friend, and they do well by him. So they always go against this like evil model or evil motto that they're like that they came up with, and it's just really fun. And it turns out, like, from some of the author's notes, I mean, the author also had, the creator, had really fun inventing the Jigglebutt gang and their characters, and they're just so eccentric. I mean, it's just like whenever they're on, whenever you're reading about them, I mean, it's just a lot of fun. Um, well, see, introduce Ruby, who I'm a bit indifferent to right now because, like, he's just this rich centenoid being. It's like he's really naive and innocent. You can tell he's a good person, but right now, like, I don't really know what he's gonna add to an already big group. He looks like he's gonna be a really major character. Um, what else? It looks like C. Hart is still around, so it's going to be interesting to see what his role will be moving forward. He seems to be more. Well, he seems to be a bit more neutral at this point, but it's really hard to say, like, if he's going to side more towards Haru's side, if he's still a bad guy. It didn't even seem like he was much of a bad guy, anyways. He wanted to kill King. Um, I gotta say that the creator really does a good job with, like, the idea of treachery, especially with Frankenbelly telling Ruby, who's like really innocent and naive, that Pumpkin Doryu killed his father. They're just evil guys and really treacherous. It's sad to see. This blonde haired devil that they keep referring to, you can't help but feel he's just going to be a major player moving forward, whoever he is. And it seems like the blonde haired devil, Sieghart, and Haru and the gang are converging to Symphonia. So, obviously, they're going to go to Symphonia. We don't know what's going to happen. It should be very exciting. Should have new characters coming along, new conflicts. Still a lot of mysteries. He's a blonde-haired guy. What's up with Ellie's backstory still? Is Musica gonna find the ship, which is called the Silver Ray? What new attacks are they gonna learn? Are they gonna have the new raves and whatnot? So yeah, that's pretty much it actually. So it ends with everyone just trying to converge to Symphonia. Uh, so join me when I start to review, or when I review vol- volumes 11 through 15. Having a lot of fun doing this. If you guys want to comment or anything, please feel free to. Um, please also check out The Mustard Prince and the Condiment Kingdom if you like Rave Master. I think you guys would like The Mustard Prince and the Condiment Kingdom. It's based on anime, manga, and my love for video games, RPG video games. So check that out at my website at www.chrismondong.com if you want to see it in PDF format, or if you have a Kindle, you can buy it off of Amazon.com as well. So that's pretty much it for this manga review. I hope to see you guys later. Thank you guys very much.